This session, we are going to look into the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. At first glance, this poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost, seems very simple. A traveler stopping his horse to watch the snow falling in the woods. But beneath that quiet scene lies a deep reflection on life, duty, and human longing. Frost takes a moment of stillness, a man pausing during his journey, and turns it into a meditation on existence. The woods become a symbol of peace, beauty, and perhaps even the rest that comes at the end of life. Yet, the poet reminds us that life demands movement, that promises must be kept, and that our responsibilities cannot be forgotten, no matter how inviting the rest may seem. In this presentation, we'll now go into the stanzas one by one. In the first stanza, the poet quietly observes, "Whose woods these are, I think I know." The speaker is traveling through a snowy landscape and pauses to look at a forest filling with snow. He realizes that the woods belong to someone who lives in the nearby village, but since the owner cannot see him, he feels free to stop and admire the sight. This moment reflects the human desire to pause and connect with nature. The tone is calm and reflective. The woods seem peaceful and almost magical as the snow slowly covers everything. The world feels silent and still, as if time has stopped for the traveler. Frost's simple words paint a vivid picture: the white snow, the dark woods, the stillness of evening. We can almost feel the chill in the air and see the snowflakes drifting down. This opening stanza introduces the contrast that continues through the poem between the busyness of human life and the peaceful call of nature. The speaker feels drawn to this calm, yet he cannot stay forever. In the second stanza, the focus shifts to the speaker's horse. The poet writes, "My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near." Here, Frost adds life and curiosity through the horse's reaction. The animal, used to stopping near people and homes, finds it unusual to pause in the middle of nowhere, that is, between the dark woods and a frozen lake, on the darkest evening of the year. The line, darkest evening, or the phrase darkest evening gives a powerful image. It could mean the literal darkness of winter, but also suggests emotional depth, perhaps the darkness of reflection or even of the human mind. The isolation in this scene is striking. The speaker is far from society, far from warmth, standing between the living and the lifeless, between water and wood, motion and stillness. The horse's confusion reminds us of how rare and almost unnatural it is for humans to pause like this. We live in movement and activity, but here Frost invites us to experience the beauty of stillness. The third stanza deepens the mood. The horse gives his harness bells a shake, as if asking whether there has been some mistake. Apart from that gentle sound, the poet hears nothing, only the sweep of the easy wind and the soft fall of snow. This moment captures the perfection of silence. Frost beautifully contrasts the faint sound of the bells and the wind with the otherwise complete quietness of the night. The sound imagery makes us aware of how still and peaceful the surroundings are. This quiet is not empty, it is full of thought, of meaning. The speaker's mind begins to reflect on what this silence represents. Nature is calm, undemanding, and eternal, while human life is busy, noisy, and short lived. The stanza allows us to feel the tranquility that comes when one steps away from daily life. Frost's rhythm and rhyme make the lines flow gently like falling snow. The world seems asleep, and the traveler stands in awe of its peace. Yet beneath this peace lies a gentle pull, a question about whether to remain in this comfort or continue in his path. In the final stanza, Frost brings us to the heart of the poem. The speaker says the woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. These lines carry the emotional weight of the entire poem. The woods are beautiful, dark, and inviting, symbols of rest, peace, and even death. The traveler feels tempted to stay, to give in to the calm and forget the world beyond. But then reality returns. The speaker remembers his promises, the responsibilities, duties, and commitments that define his life. The repetition of miles to go before I sleep gives us a strong sense of endurance. It suggests that this journey of life must continue until all obligations are fulfilled. Frost's ending leaves us thoughtful. The woods symbolize the desire for escape or peace, while the promises represent our responsibilities and goals. Life, he seems to say, is a balance between both, appreciating beauty while never forgetting purpose. The calmness of the scene contrasts deeply with the determination of the speaker's decision to move on. Now let's move into the themes of the poem. Even though this poem might seem simple, it explores profound themes that touch every reader. First, the poem highlights nature versus society. The quiet woods represent the freedom and beauty of nature, while the traveler's journey and promises stand for social duty and personal responsibility. The speaker is caught between two worlds, one that invites rest and one that demands effort. Second, it explores temptation and the difficulty of choice. The traveler feels tempted to stay in the woods, but he knows he must move forward. This tension mirrors the choices we face in life between comfort and purpose, rest and progress. Third, Frost reflects on purpose and responsibility. The phrase promises to keep reminds us that every person carries obligations to family, to work, to self that give meaning to life. The repetition of miles to go before I sleep emphasizes determination and perseverance. Finally, the poem can be read as a meditation on life and death. The wood's darkness may symbolize death or eternal rest, while the speaker's journey suggests life's continuation. Frost leaves this open, allowing readers to find their own meaning. Through this short, quiet poem, Frost teaches us that beauty and duty coexist. The calm of nature can refresh us, but it's our promises that give direction to our journey. Frost's poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, is more than just a winter poem. It's a gentle reflection on life's path. It teaches us that while it's important to pause and appreciate the peace and beauty around us, we must also honor our promises and continue our journey. As we go through our own lives, there will always be woods, moments of rest, reflection, or temptation. But the key is to find balance, to admire the stillness while moving forward with purpose. I hope this poem leaves you thoughtful, calm, and inspired to keep going. One step, one promise, and one mile at a time. Thank you.